Give us 60 minutes and we'll give you Nelson Radio every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. on KTLK AM 1150. With 29 years in the mortgage business and an array of top-level guests visiting the show, Nelson is in a unique position to bring you cutting-edge information on real estate, business, finance, and law. If you have any questions for Nelson or any of his guests, give him a call at 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or check him out online at nelsonradio.com.
Nelson Radio.
Welcome back to Nelson Radio, Saturday afternoons right here at 2 to 3 o'clock on KTLK AM 1150. Great to be with you. We've got a great segment coming up here. We have two cornerstones of the real estate market down in Orange County, Flo Bullock and John Russel from Keller Williams, and I really focused on the Coto, Caza, and Dove Canyon markets. Here's a couple of quick stats that I was floored by. Number one in their Keller Williams office, Mission Viejo, but number 6 out of over 80,000 Keller Williams agents nationwide. And wow, that takes some work. So welcome to the program. How you doing?
Hey, Nelson. Good, sir.
So I'm going to open, and John, you set me up for this. Remember the text that you said, open all questions with Flo. And so
No!
here, Flo, I got to ask you, because your business background came from a very different environment than how many are brought up as a self-employed entrepreneur. Tell us about your background in the corporate world.
I really didn't have a background in the corporate. No, actually, I worked for aerospace for 10 years, and then I became a mom, stayed home, and
Hubs?
And I used to, just for hobby, go in and out of model homes and find homes for my friends. And I would call the listing agent. She'd get the credit, and I'd put all the miles in the car. And this all began as a joke. My husband said, go do real estate, and it all became as a joke.
and your husband, a senior executive at Boeing, correct?
He was one of the CFOs at Boeing, yes. He retired 2 years ago, and now he's joined our team.
And so really a very disciplined corporate environment. You step your way into the real estate world, and so many... The real estate world, in the agent community, some programs or some companies like Keller Williams are brilliant in their training and the foundation they lay for you. But so many other companies out there hand you a stack of cards and it's go get 'em, Tiger kind of training. So stepping into this, when you started the business with John, you didn't have to succeed. It was a whole different kind of platform.
Correct. Actually, John was one of my competitors for 6 years.
Was he any good?
He was great.
No, we hated each other, actually. So,
No, we of course, we're competitors, but we
Yeah.
always respected each other.
Mm-hmm.
And after 6 years, we talked, and we made this happen. It took a year and a half for John to make up his mind, but here we are. We went from, about 30 deals each, and now last year we closed 130 homes,
Yeah.
and we've done
and
great
we're at
together.
90 right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, part of
So
this thing is in a market just to really just go out and knock on doors. I mean, if you do that, you're in this market, there's a lot of people that want to sell. They're not sure where the market's been over the last 6 months. And you talked about that earlier. We're up about 20%. Where we are, anecdotally, we were off 35% from the height of the market. We've made up 20% of that. And that has a lot of people now interested in putting their houses they get.
So, John, tell me about your background.
You know, I went to law school. My parents had a real estate practice, never wanted to do it. My dad would make us play Monopoly on Sundays, and I haven't played it since. But, you know, I spent 6 years on Wall Street. I know enough about the market, the ups and downs of it, that everyone has guesses as to where it's going to go.
Right.
Some are right, some are not so. But the real estate market, it's still the best investment. And people shouldn't buy a house based on that, but it's still your best investment.
Let me interject a question here, and this actually came from one of our listeners. This is in the category of Stump the Experts, but one of our listeners was talking about in this home buying environment, in the first 6 months, it's been the multiple offers, the competing cash offers, but the question was, are there strategies for becoming pre-approved? What do you think about that?
First thing, when you write an offer and you have a very strong letter from your lender, you're going to be put to the front of the line. You know, when you don't have to sell your house, you're going to be put in the front of the line. So there's a number of steps that you want to do that when a seller looks at it, you're organized, you have a great pre-approval letter, your lender can get on the phone and say nice things about you. That's certainly going to help you out in a market that had a lot of multiple offers. Anecdotally, Flo and I, we would have an open house maybe a month or two ago, and that market's changed since then, because it's fast moving. But if you have your lender all behind you at this point, it's definitely a plus.
So what's that like? I mean, can you discern when you receive an offer on one of your listings? Can you discern the pre-approval statement that just doesn't hold water? I mean, it comes across with the accolades of, okay, this person has a 850 credit score, he has $100 million in the bank, and he's just getting 100% financing because he wants to leverage his purchase.
You look at it and you're like, okay, how much? What are his assets? What is he looking to do? I mean, if it's stretched really thin, and one of the concerns that we have is if that appraisal doesn't hit, is he going to be able to make up that difference? If he isn't, we may sway the seller to take someone that we call a cleaner offer. And, we see that all the time.
And we do request cross-qualifying now. We will not take just one pre-qual letter. However, I really recommend that you get fully approved. Pre-qual letter really doesn't mean much anymore.
Yeah.
If you can get fully approved, you go to the top of the list.
And this seems to be something that's phasing its way into the industry. And we've talked about this prior to the program in terms of not only just getting pre-approved, but getting the conditions satisfied. So you really have just 4 steps remaining in the transaction. The purchase contract obviously getting signed, escrow instructions, appraisal, home inspection, and the title report, and then you're done. And
it's not hard. California, we did real estate back in New York. Here, they really do lay out a path that's not difficult. But we always tell our clients, we're going to handle, we're going to help you with the inspections. We're going to help you with the termite. We're going to be sitting there through this entire process, which really lasts about 17 days. Just make sure that your lender is on top of it, because what happens, Nelson, is we'll get a call 2 days before we're supposed to close it. We're going to need, and that just freaks everybody out. And it's always, no offense, and I know it's not you, but it's always the lender that, that this key is to making this transaction.
Kill his mic.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
But you know what I mean. So
no,
it's just,
exactly.
It can be problematic. So that's what we always try to just let them know that they have to stay in time with that timeline.
Right.
Yeah.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. I'm with Flo Bullock and John Russell from Keller Williams, the Bullock Russell team. You can reach us direct, 888-2136, 888-2136. I'm going to have you back in the next segment, but I want to cast one more question at you here, and that is the challenges that you face as agents. Where do they come out? Lending aside, where do the challenges show themselves?
The challenges that I feel is keeping the client calm throughout, keeping the emotion level low. And someone said to me, and I think is exactly right, it's like an airplane ride. You take off, there's going to be some turbulence, get that seatbelt on, stay on board, we're going to get you to safe landing. We need to be trusted. And we get it done. We succeed, we have to have them trust us. That's the main thing. Leave it to us, leave it to the professionals.
It's a great analogy.
Yeah, what Flo's talking about is we always talk about managing the expectations.
Right.
Your client signs the offer, all right, they get their offer accepted. They're happy as can be. They go out, they have dinner, they toast, and it's like, wait a minute, there's still a lot to go through. And that, really the difficult part, they have to secure their lending, okay? And at the same time, we have to go through the inspection process. It becomes difficult. And when it really gets out of control, and we talk about the airplane ride, is when people get upset. The sellers get offended if you're asking for too much. The buyers think so. We always try to just, take a deep breath, take a step back from it. There's a reason that you wrote an offer on this house. It's because you like it. All this aggro that you may go through the first 17 days is not going to have any bearing 10 years from now on. Your home is where you live.
Makes sense. Flo and John, I want you to stay with us. We're going to ask some questions about our theme of the show today, staring forward and glancing back. This segment brought to you by Academy Mortgage. Academy bringing you our market-exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee. You can freeze today's interest rate, eliminate the risk of rates rising, and have that waiting for you at the finish line once you identify the property that you're going to buy. Give us a call, 888-2136. That's 888-2136, or you can click through at nelsonradio.com. Flo, we're coming right back. We're coming at you. Stay with us. Welcome back to Nelson Radio on KTLK AM 1150. This segment brought to you by Academy Mortgage and our market-exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee. It's a great advantage, especially with the threat of higher interest rates. freeze the interest rate, then go out, identify which property that you want to point it towards, and that interest rate is waiting for you at the finish line. The safe and sane approach to real estate buying is how I'm going to present it. Safe and sane. You can reach us throughout the show. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or click through at nelsonradio.com. We're with Flo Bullock and John Russel, the Bullock-Russel team from Keller Williams, specializing out in the Coto de Caza and Dove Canyon areas. And as I welcome you back into the show, I wanted to talk to you about your business platform that you put together, the Agent Alliance. Give us a peek behind the curtain on what that's all about.
Shall I?
Yeah.
Okay. Agent Alliance. Agent actually started where a couple of my sons were helping me, and from the time I started, within 4 months, I became very successful. And my sons were behind the scenes helping me get everything done, and they asked if they could do this for other agents. So it really began. It's a team that services the agents, not the public, not the clients. The agents, so that the agents can go service their clients as best as they can. And that's what's helped us in the background to be able to have the volume. Without Agent Alliance, I don't think we could really carry the volume because they have a great team.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that, as a real estate agent, it's kind of a lot of times you're out there by yourself. I mean, and the reality is that's what it is. So, when you're, in my case, when I'd be up at 12 o'clock in the morning writing a contract or, working into the middle of the night writing contracts, it would take away from the time that what a real estate agent really needs to go and do, which is service your client and go get more clients.
And be the ambassador of your organization, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So basically what this does is it takes the back office work that bogs you down, removes that from your plate and allows you to go out and do your job. And that's in the simplest way. And then with that said, by doing your job means that your clients, they're served better. Their contracts are done. There's not a contract that the folks that do our work that they don't know about. It's just an overall plan that kind of brings a professional corporate aspect to real estate that seriously has been kind of lacking in a lot of ways. Well,
and I liken it to the conductor of an orchestra. If you look at the community of people that are engaged in a real estate transaction, escrow, lender, title insurance, appraiser, home inspection, home and warranty, hazard insurance. There's, 10, 12 people or organizations involved to get a transaction navigated successfully to the finish line. So it takes that kind of infrastructure. I think it's brilliant that you're paying attention to it.
To stay on the timeline. And that's what, when you open a deal, the clock starts running. And I say, Flo and I say to our clients, okay, for the next 17 days, it's going to be horrible. All right, you're going to be driven crazy, but after 17 days, it's finished and we're done. And in the next 12 days or 13 days that it's going to take for us to close, you worry about your lender. Everything else will be fine. And we the key is sticking to that. And if you do that, then Nelson, it becomes a little bit. It becomes easier. Yeah.
So let me throw this question at you. And this was a question that came up from one of our listeners. And this may be unfair, but you know what? It's okay. I'm a former resident. I lived in Coto de Caza for 17 years. And so I have my opinion. But the question is, the Real Housewives of Orange County, did it hurt or help the Coto market?
I think it's a good thing. Okay, because we have calls from people from Nebraska that call us and say, is this where the OC housewives live? And we're like, well, some of them live here. And, at first they think, well, we're not like them. I'm not making any judgments.
Yeah.
But, it brings a brand to this. It brings value. And Coto is a pretty easy sell. If you get there, if we can get people in like anything else, they see that it's a super great community. It's just, and the value compared to other communities is really good.
Give us a quick snapshot. I mean, so many people don't know about the Coto de Caza community and the gem that it is that's tucked up in the foothills of the Cleveland National Forest. Give us a little picture.
We're not in the desert. Okay, first thing. There's a stretch of about 3 weeks in the summer where we get a little hot, but you do get a breeze from the valley, from
paved streets.
Paved streets. there is shopping within. Right. No, it's really good. I liken it to like Irvine 2.0 because it's a planned community. They've done it right. We're right there. We're 15 to 20 minutes. When they put the toll road through,
right.
That opened everything up.
Right.
So I can get to Irvine in 15 minutes from Coto. 4,000 homes. They range from 500,000 to 24 million. 3 gates. 36 holes of golf. It's a golf course community. The clubhouse, a lot of
Equestrian
amenities,
center.
Equestrian center. It's really good, and some really good builders there that put up some nice homes.
Beautifully manicured, a resort-style living all the way.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
that's
from
what
the
many don't
clubhouse,
realize.
The country club to
Right.
golf courses.
Yeah, people are
36
shocked
holes,
when they
just
when they look at
beautiful.
it.
Yeah. You're listening to Flo Bullock and John Russell from the Keller Williams team of Bullock and Russell. You can reach us direct, 888-888-2136, or click through at nelsonradio.com. I want to ask you, and just as some storytelling, just for some fun here, best and worst client. Not by name. Now, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Just
No,
by
so we
scenario.
have some great clients
Right.
that are just, the great percentages, they're great. The bad clients, seriously, are the ones that want to try to
manage. They hire us, and then they want to manage everything from day one. And the best client, they will take our advice. They have hired us. We're the professional. We bring them the comps. They listen. We get the job done. And the worst clients, unfortunately, they always say, I should have. We never hear, I'm glad I didn't listen to you. We should have.
I'll tell you I'll tell you the worst client.
Always.
Not that he's a worst client, but the worst deal. No, I know we got about a minute. We had an offer first 2 days on the market, Nelson. For we were listed at $1,020,000. We had an offer of like $1,017,000. This is 2007. He said, "Well, we've only been on the market for a week. I'm not going to take that I'm not going to take that listing. I'm not going to take that number."
Yeah.
And 4 years later, he did a short sale for his house for like $650,000. And I'm not kidding you. It
So
was
a
like,
$400,000.
yeah, I mean, that's a
shortfall.
true story. And he just, so when Flo and I say, hey, this is really, not because it's the first offer, but it's because it's the best, you really need to take it. And then,
And that fits well with our theme in terms of staring forward and
Right.
glancing back, but listening, handing over the reins of authority, if you will, so that you can manage the transaction successfully.
Exactly.
There's great coaching to our listeners out there. I want to thank you both for being with us. Flo Bullock, you did great.
Thank you.
And John Russell, the Bullock Russell team from Keller
Thank you,
Williams,
sir.
special Coto to Caza and Dove Canyon markets of Orange County. Beautiful, beautiful communities. You're listening to Nelson Radio right here, brought to you by Academy Mortgage, our exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee. One great way to address the concern over rising interest rates. Give us a call to find out more. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136, or you can reach the Bullock Russell team or myself through our website at nelsonradio.com. Hang in there. We've got Coach's Corner coming up, and with one of our favorites, one of Flo and John's customers, in fact, Coach Jim Herrick. Stay with us.
Nelson is a licensed lender under the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 331060.
This is Nelson from Nelson Radio, and it's important that we talk about a very serious issue. We had bad lending practices that led to the mortgage meltdown, but now we've got the challenge of deplorable customer service coming out of the meltdown. Bottom line, getting a new loan can be like pulling teeth without Novocaine. I've got the solution. Academy Mortgage and my team are injecting into the industry real performance and real accountability. Here are the facts. Appraisals in less than a week. Rate guarantees that can improve if the market goes down. Purchase transactions with our market-exclusive close-on-time guarantees and refinance transactions in as little as 30 days. Who would have thunk? Guaranteed rates and guaranteed performance from your mortgage lender. Call me, Nelson, an accountable loan expert for nearly 3 decades, direct at 888-888-2136. That's Nelson at 888-888-2136, 888-888-2136, or at strongcreditrewards.com.